So with the Kanban method, we're thinking about things not just from simply deliver, deliver, deliver. So some of the people in the software world might know the idea of developers, 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 and some guy who's bald shouting on the stage saying, we have to have more of these. And a lot of managers tend to say, deliver, 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 which is not a bad thing at all. I'm probably one of those managers myself where I say, hey, let's deliver this stuff. Let's get it out the door. And more is better always. But one of the big challenges in sort of a services environment where you're building either product, you're building maybe providing a service to a customer, or you're even trying to deliver on a project perhaps. This is hard stuff because what you're trying to say is, we did all this stuff, did we actually get it right? So this is another piece of the picture of the Kanban method. We tend to look at things from a systemic point of view. So there's an input and an output, really simple stuff to begin with. But what we're trying to say is, hey, once you get something in, it's probably a customer request at an organizational level. The customer says, I want X. And your service, which could be a project, a product, or something else, is trying to deliver that back to the customer in the way that they wanted it. And so you want to be able to use what we call feedback loops to say, hey, now that we've delivered it, is it the right thing? And this is tough stuff because sometimes, depending on your environment, let's say you're B2B, or let's say you're B2C and your C is gigantic, right? Like 1,000 or more customers. You have to figure out how to get that information back to say, we're building the right thing. And we use something from the Kanban world called fit for purpose, which is this idea of actually starting to engage the customers and find out, are you building the right things? Have you gotten the right stuff for them? And this is a very key component really of trying to understand, is your system delivering the right stuff to the customer? Usually it has to do with timing, quality perhaps, the delivery model. These are various things that the customer will want to have that makes it fit for them. And so as we start to deliver, we're trying to tune to that certain type of customer. And this is a key feedback loop that a lot of organizations sometimes miss out on. Really big organizations, I find, struggle in this space because they have so many disparate areas that are trying to get this information or trying to deliver, for example. So 4 or 5 teams might be delivering, and one team is trying to get the customer feedback. And there's almost this asynchronous sort of bouncing around of communication and information around what to do and how to do it. This is not everybody, by the way, but a lot of big organizations struggle here. And so in the Kanban method, we're trying to address some of that pain by saying, let's get that cadence going at the right pace. So that there's almost like an engine running that says, hey, we have feedback, let's help to integrate that into what we're delivering. And at the same time, let's make sure that what we deliver now is more fit for purpose for that customer. So over time, you really develop this nice balance, hopefully, to adjust and adapt to the changing needs of your customer, because you want to be fit more in the long term for their purpose, because that ultimately helps benefit your business. So that's a very short example we're talking about in terms of delivering the right thing.